In rap, a rapper named T.I. put a record out. He said, "You can have whatever you like." Americans love that. You can have whatever you like. That's the trick. Learn to live simple. They hate it. Learn to say, "I'm good, you can keep it." They hate it. Walk with God, walk with law, and never give up your gun.
Since the Colorado theater shooting, most of the media has wanted to jump all over the issue of whether or not AR-15 rifles and assault weapons should even be sold to the public. It is the same story every time an incident like this happens. Most of the arguments wind up centered on the Second Amendment. So what was the Second Amendment really about, and what does it protect? These kind of weapons. Ben has the reality check you won't see anywhere else.
Immediately following the Colorado theater shooting, the national media had already resigned themselves to pontificating over the Second Amendment and the role of guns in society. Hours after that shooting in Aurora, Colorado, CNN's Piers Morgan asked this question. Quote, "You tell me a good reason why we should not strengthen the law now to stop another young man like him going into a store tomorrow, buying 4 more weapons, 6,000 rounds of ammunition on the internet, and killing and shooting another 70 people in America." Now, Piers is simply pushing a political agenda rather than looking at the facts. I told you last night that national media are ignoring major troubling questions about what happened in Colorado, and we're working on more on that coming up in the next few weeks. But tonight, we're looking at the Second Amendment. I have to warn you, though, because the Second Amendment is very politically incorrect, and the man who helped bring that to light last week, rapper Ice-T.
Yeah, it's legal in the United States. It's part of our Constitution. You know, the right to bear arms is because that's the last form of defense against tyranny, not to hunt.
And the thing is, Ice-T is historically correct. The Second Amendment is fairly simple, stating, quote, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and to bear arms shall not be infringed." To be clear, the militia is not regular military. They were farmers and blacksmiths who went about their daily lives. But notice that the amendment says this is for the security of a free state. According to the 1828 dictionary and other historical documents of that day, they refer to a state as an independent nation. The Second Amendment was put in place to remind the newly formed federal or general government that each state's citizenry would be armed and ready to defend themselves should the need arise. Remember, the United States was a plural term. So what you need to know? If people like Piers Morgan want to have a real discussion on the Second Amendment, then it needs to be an honest discussion. The Second Amendment is about tyranny, not about hunting or about sport. And many Americans, frankly, don't like that. It's an uncomfortable idea. Look, you may believe that protecting yourself from government is ludicrous, and yet the ability for citizens to have not just the power to elect and to choose leaders, but also the power to protect themselves violently, if necessary, from tyranny is historically what the founders created. Maybe the reason we aren't having honest debates about guns in this country or the Second Amendment is because we aren't honest about why those guns were allowed in the first place. And that is Reality Check.
If you'd like to make your voice heard on the story, head over to Ben's Facebook page. Find it by searching Ben Swan, WXIX.
I've also asked the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way. We just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into
That's the trick. Learn to live simple, walk with law, and never give up your gun.
Yo, yo, yo. I blow the fucking frame loose when I step in the booth. I pick it up and lie it down. It gets spins on the